What's up, YouTube fans? Today I'm going to be reviewing the biggest transformer ever made, the Titans Returns Fortress Maximus SDCC version. Obviously this doesn't fit in my review area. This thing is gigantic. It also came in like 3 boxes, so it was inside a box that didn't really have any markings. It said Hasbro on it. And then it was in this box, which actually has a pretty cool picture of Fortress Maximus on it. And then it's inside another box inside, so let's take a look at that. It's freaking gigantic here. There you have the box. Oh, sorry, I forgot to show you the back. Just says Fortress Maximus. Really, an amazing box for just a regular cardboard. Then you've got this box. Oh, and it's got metallic red eyes on the front. It's pretty cool. It's got kind of a picture of his headshot here. It just says ages 8+, which is kind of interesting because a lot of their Transformers aren't that much age. You can be younger than that. So the side, it's just continuation of what's on the front. It's got this scratched up look, which is kind of neat. It's got a design, a pattern to it. And then the back has just a really cool Fortress Maximus with sort of a city back here, some guns, and then Autobot symbol. Nothing really on the bottom, just some warnings, so I'm not even going to show that. So that's about it for the box. I was not going to get this guy, so I'm going to try to open this while I'm talking to you. I wasn't going to get this guy, but you know, I figured the SDCC version, it's got to have something of value in here, and it does. It does have a sword. Comes with a sword. It also comes with some slightly different paint apps for the figure itself. So I figured, hey, why not get the version with the best paint apps? Alright. So the box is a little bit damaged right here in this corner. I think you can see that. Wow, this thing is taped on every corner. So you kind of have to cut every single corner first before you can open it. Alright, so we got the sleeve off. Oh wow, that is an awesome box. I don't know why, I'm just very impressed by the box art on this thing. So it's got some Cybertronian writing, Fortress Maximus' gun. On the side here you have a, looks like a product shop, but it's actually a picture. And here we have Fortress Maximus. It's ridiculous. It's so big. Oh wow. Okay. So this says that it's got lights and sounds. It powers up with batteries. Not included. Batteries are not included with this guy. Okay, I can deal with that. I'm fine with that. But really nice box. I do like that it comes with that slipcase. The rest of this looks the same, I believe, as the standard box. Although there's some nice art here. I think the rest of it's pretty close to the original box. I don't have the original, so I'm not going to be able to do comparisons today, but I believe it's got some differences. And it looks like all of the stickers are actually applied already, so you'll get to see some of the different paint apps and stuff. But let's get this guy out. I mean, it's pretty awesome. So we'll get this guy out of the box and we'll be right back. They also have this poster, which is pretty cool. Fortress Maximus Titans Return. I know this is unique because to the SDCC version because it's got the sword in it. So that's a pretty cool little poster that they give you. I like that. And finally, we get to the big guy himself, Fortress Maximus. A ridiculously big robot. I actually think I have to back up here. This thing is incredibly big. My review area obviously doesn't fit it. My first impression taking it out of the box was, yeah, this is a little hollow. So he's not that heavy. Oh, by the way, I paid $180 for this guy. You can actually still buy it from eBay right now. I just took a look on eBay. They've got more of these available. It's $180. I believe the original Hasbro version retailed for $150, so you pay an extra $30 to get the upgraded paint and stickers. So not bad. Not an absorbent price. And you also get the extra sword. It's actually a 3-part sword, so it kind of, let me make sure I'm on camera here. It kind of breaks apart, so it's like makes 3 different swords. So you can have this alone. I believe that's for Cerebros, or you can have him have a big ass sword like that, or you can give him this half one. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but that's about it for that sword. So, but it's pretty cool. I mean, it's got some nice stickers on it, nicely detailed and painted. It also comes with the instruction book here, which kind of shocked me because for how big of a figure this is, these are like the smallest instructions I've ever had especially in a sort of masterpiece size robot here. This is it. That's all the instructions. So I think it's probably pretty easy to transform into base mode. It also tells you how to put the how to attach the other bases here, and it also tells you how to put the batteries in, which I have not done yet. So we are going to do that when we get through articulation and some of the other features of this figure. All right, so on to this guy. Really impressive. This is the biggest transformer ever made. It's actually bigger than the original Fortress Maximus. That was the G1 Fortress Maximus. Let me bring in our very awesome Combiner Wars Devastator here. So there's Devastator next to Fortress Maximus, and it's ridiculous. It just towers over. It's not even close. The funny thing is the box, the Fortress Maximus box, doesn't say anything about being the biggest transformer ever. Nowhere on the front, the back, the outer box, the instructions, doesn't say anything about, hey, this is the biggest transformer ever made. I know it's bigger than the Metroplex that came out last year at SDCC. So it seems odd to me. The only thing I can think of is the Triptychon figure, which is coming out, I think it's 2017 or 28, maybe even 2018. I'm wondering if that's going to be even bigger. Maybe not height-wise, but maybe girth-wise, it's probably going to be even bigger than this guy. So maybe they're saving themselves. But here's a comparison. It comes up basically to like the middle of his chest, and that's it. So I love this guy, by the way. I love my Combiner Wars Devastator, but nothing compares to the size of this Fortress Maximus. All right, so kind of onto the figure. On top of having 3 cardboard boxes, actually, let me just show you. That's all the freaking packaging for this figure. All of that right there, that's the plastic. All these boxes, all these covers, that's all for this guy. So pretty ridiculous amount of packaging. Almost wasteful, I would say. But hey, it protected the figure. Came here in one piece, so I'm happy. Alright, so onto the figure. He really does have a lot of good sticker and paint work. So I know this is one of the differences, the black on the guns. It's got this faded black look, almost like the gun has been firing for a while and you got turned black from shooting. That's pretty cool. There's some red details up here. That's different. A couple of stickers on here that are slightly different than the retail Hasbro release. Also some red details on there. Unfortunately, I don't have the Hasbro version of Fortress Maximus, so we're going to have to look at pictures in order to tell the difference, and that's going to make it harder because, you know, I don't have it in hand. But either way, alright guys, sorry about the cutaway. My camera battery died, so I took the opportunity to put the batteries into Cerebros and also to take a look at the pictures online of the retail version, the Hasbro version, so I can kind of tell you the differences in between this version and that version. So one of the main things is the red. So you've got the red on the side of the arm here, which breaks up the coloring. It's still just an empty little module that doesn't have anything inside of it. Sorry, it's kind of hard to open. Still nothing inside of it, but I like the fact that they colored it. You also got the red here. I think I talked about that. You've got this piece, which is white, which was gray on the other one. You have slightly different color for this, although that might just be the shading in the picture. This is blue versus it was gray on the Hasbro version. What else? The eyes are slightly different. They were green or greenish on the retail version, and this one appears to be red. So we'll press the button here. You can see it flashes red in his eyes. Hopefully that's coming across camera. This is unfortunately the tallest I can get my camera to go. What else? He does have a slightly different coloring on this little thingy here. That the silver paint on there is new. This we talked about, the guns have this faded black here. And I believe on the back, turn this guy around, he is pretty top heavy. He wants to kind of fall over, so you gotta be careful. I believe these blue stickers here that happen to have Cybertronian writing on them, I believe those are new. I don't think these blue stickers were there on the original version. You correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but I think these are new. I know these existed on the Hasbro version, but really cool stickers. I mean, it makes it look kind of like 3D. Really nicely done stickers. It would have been cool if they painted it, but I'm just as happy if they have good quality stickers on there. I believe this is the same, the little blue stickers here. Don't quote me on that, but I think it is the same. Yeah, that's about it for paint on the actual figure. There may be some paint scissors on Cerebros. We'll take him off and compare him later. But for now, let's take a look at articulation on this guy. Obviously, the articulation is all going to be the same as the Hasbro version. The Takara version is also going to be the same. So you do have a nice ratcheted arm swivel here. You know, I thought this was going to bother me, the little white panels in the back, but they're not too bad. They kind of fade away a little bit. So from the back, it looks kind of interesting because it's got those stickers on it, but from the front, I just didn't like the white. But now that I have it, it's not too bad. You do have a nice ratcheted elbow here, plenty of strength, and you also have a ratcheted twist at the bicep or at the elbow. You also have a hand rotates, and it actually can rotate all the way in. I think that may be part of the transformation, but your hand has a lot of movement there. You got the thumb is just on a rotating joint here. It doesn't bend anywhere, but each finger does articulate individually, just one joint at the main knuckle here. There's only one knuckle joint there, but still very nice for a Hasbro figure. Typically they don't do a lot of good articulation on the hands. Usually they're just stuck in place, so very well done. So we'll move on to the waist. There is a nice waist swivel, ratcheted. Sorry, I forgot the head. The head is on a swivel. It does not have an up and down, just because of the mechanism where you had to plug this guy in. There was no way they could include articulation on to move up and down on the head, but still pretty impressive they really even do this. The way this plugs in, the whole thing is moving with the head, the whole bottom piece, so really well done on that part. Alright, so we'll move on to the legs here. You do have nice ratcheted joints. Let's see if he holds it. Now it's a little too heavy for him to hold it. He can maybe do that. Yeah, so it's a little heavy for him, but these are pretty strong ratchets. He does go out to the side, all the way up to there, but it's so heavy that it's going to bring the whole thing down, so he can't hold that pose, obviously. Let's bring this back down. He does have a nice ratcheted knee joint. He also has a rotation that's also ratcheted at the knee. No articulation on the feet. That would have been nice, because if you get him in an A stance, you know, he's got nothing really holding him, and he wants to slide. So it would have been nice if you had something. I also wish there was, you know, there's not really an in-between ratchet. So you have this, which is kind of straight down, and the next one is all the way out here. It's too far. So kind of wish they had an extra click in there where you could get it kind of halfway. So that's it for articulation. Oh, I guess I left out this butterfly joint here. I believe that's part of the transformation as well. So there you go. That's pretty much all of the articulation. Very articulated for a figure of this size. Now the gimmicks you do have when you put the head in, so we'll do that. When you take him out, he makes that noise. And when you put him back in, so it does seem kind of random. I haven't figured out if there's a real pattern to the order of the sayings. So we'll press the button here. You kind of have to push him in pretty firmly to get him to stay. So he says Fortress Maximus. Got kind of a weird sound. Fortress Maximus. A laser. Decepticon. Kind of a powering down sound. Autobots. So pushing this button does seem to pop the head off. You kind of have to push the head in firmly to get it to stay. Sorry if I was blocking the screen there. Alright, so I think we've cycled through all the sounds now. Now there's a hidden one that only comes with the SDCC and probably the Takara version too. You hold the button down for, looks like 5 seconds, and you get the Autobot music, or the Transformers music. That's pretty cool. I really like that. By the way, that's not discussed in the book at all. The book barely says anything about the features of this guy. They're all kind of hidden. For the most part, it tells you how to put the batteries in, and we'll go over that when we go over Cerebros. But they really don't have a lot in the manual about what this guy's capable of doing. Alright, so we've kind of gone through articulation. We'll take a look at the weapon now, and this does kind of fit together here. There's a slot. Hopefully this is all on camera. There's a slot, and you kind of just slide it down. Same for the top piece. You just slide it down into there, and now you have the sword. Let's take a look. It does have a slot here, so I'm assuming the hand has a spot for it to go in. Yeah, it does. There is a nice slot for it to go in. It doesn't just sit loose. Oh, you don't even need to close the hand. It holds on really well. That is awesome. That's great. Look at that. So I'm super impressed by this sword. It just, it's really big and it looks cool. I don't know. Oops. Oh, that was my fault. So there is Fortress Maximus with his sword. It looks pretty damn cool. I think they did a great job with this sword. Nice paint job. So these guns come right off, and there's a handle down here. It's got the same kind of thing, a little peg for the hand. You can just get that in there. Just like the sword, it pegs in very, very securely. Still, that's pretty cool that he can hold those guns. They come off, but I don't like the gap it left on his leg. I think the leg looks a lot better with the gun on it, so I'm just going to leave this here and use the sword. And I'm happy this guy came with the sword. It's really nicely stickered. Well, some of the stickers are actually coming off, but it does look good. I'm impressed with. It's actually sort of a metallic fleck in the red paint here. So good quality there. All right, I think that is about it for robot mode. I am pretty impressed. Something this big, and they were able to give it the articulation of a smaller bot. It's not masterpiece. No, I'll correct myself from earlier. This is not a masterpiece. And what do I mean by that? Okay, the plastic is kind of hollow. It doesn't really. The transformation's pretty simple from robot to base mode. There's not a lot of like extra like weaponry and stuff like that. Sorry. I would put it on par with the Combiner Wars Devastator, right? Just short of being a masterpiece, missing a few key elements. It could have been a masterpiece, but not quite there. They didn't quite make it there. So overall, it's okay. I like it. I like it in robot mode. This is probably the best mode. We'll take a look at the other modes. But I have a feeling this is the mode he's going to stay in for most of the time on my shelf. One more thing before we go into base mode. I found kind of a fake toe articulation. This doesn't really articulate, but because of the transformation, it does kind of come off, so you can make it look like. And that's the issue with this guy. He's super heavy, so you kind of got to be careful. But so you can kind of make it look like he's got, his toe kind of bending. I don't know how sturdy or steady this is right now. Probably not very. I might not leave it like that, but it does look like he's bending his toe, so that's kind of cool. I also found out that this piece, which looks like a ramp, it just kind of sits here on the back. It doesn't really lock in. I'm wondering if it's broken actually. It may actually be broken, but let's get this. So this piece right here, it's got 2 pegs. This one looks a little bit broken. This one looks okay. So I'm guessing that maybe it's broken, but so it just kind of sits there on the back, and it's supposed to, by friction, I don't know. I think it's supposed to be able to rotate up, but I have a feeling it's actually broken because it comes right off. So that kind of sucks. I wish it wasn't broken. Hopefully you guys can see that pin right there. And that's the way it came. I didn't break it or drop it. When it got out of the box, it actually fell off, and I put it back on. All right, so now that's it for robot mode. We will get him into base mode and be right back. All right, guys, we are back from transforming. This was a pretty easy transformation. Just tough to work with this guy. He's kind of bulky and awkward. I did have trouble getting this head in here. He doesn't want to sit properly, so you know there's a little pin in here, and that pin has to kind of stick into the head. That's how it knows that it's in base mode. And you get different sounds when he's in base mode. So he basically has a lot of shooting sounds, and you still get the same effect if you hold it down. You get the transformer sound. So pretty cool. I kind of don't like this mode that much. It's really long. It does roll. It's got wheels. Let's see, where are the wheels? You got wheels here, 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 here. And then on the other side you got them here, here, and here. So enough wheels to get it to roll. Yeah, overall pretty good. Some things do tend to pop off, but this is the mode that's probably going to be the least used for anybody that gets this figure. By the way, Emissary is off here. So this is Cerebros' head. It just folds out. So he does have head back, or back face, whatever you want to call it. But he's a cool little character. I mean, he's got a ball jointed head. He's so small, he's got a ball jointed head. He has a knee, a bend at the knee in both directions. He obviously can sit. He has arms. They're also on ball joints, but they're kind of hindered by the head in the back. Actually, it's kind of rubbing against the head. I don't like that. But he does have ball jointed arms, which is pretty... For the size of this guy, he's amazingly articulated. And the fact that he makes up Cerebros' head, I'm just impressed that they were able to do something this cool. It really is well done. I guess the reason they have the head on a ball joint is so that Cerebros' heads will have articulation. Anyway, very nice paint detail on this guy. And sorry if you can't see that. It's painted for sure. This black. Oh, is it painted? I believe it's painted. It looks like the eyes, the face, and the front black piece is painted. The rest is just plastic. But it's well done for a little tiny thing. Like they could have cheaped out, but they didn't. It's sort of like a masterpiece quality headmaster. It kind of reminds me of the Star Saber. The little guy, he was so detailed and painted. This guy's pretty good. That is really it for this base mode. I mean, you do have the option to flip this out if you want to, and then you can put Emissary in there. It actually fits quite snugly and nicely, so. Actually, that looks pretty good. Maybe that's kind of one of the enhancements here. It actually looks really nice with that open. Kind of got somebody actually controlling the whole thing. Yeah, so that's it for this mode. We're going to get to the other base mode. One thing I did discover while I was transforming is this top piece that was broken off before. It does kind of lock in place for base mode, so it's not coming off now. But in robot mode, it obviously has a broken pin, and that's why it was falling off. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of nail polish or something on there to like thicken it up, and hopefully that'll make it stay. But in base mode, it's fine. It tabs in and it doesn't go anywhere. And this thing's pretty solid in this mode. Alright, so we'll get this guy transformed again and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we're back from transforming to the third mode of this guy. And this definitely looks better. I definitely like this a lot more. It's not perfect, so there are some things that I don't like. I don't like that the hands are visible here. I just wish there was something that covered it up or folded inside. I think they have empty arms. The arms are hollow. They could have easily had those retract inside. Maybe it was going to weaken the structure, but I think they could have done something with that. But it does look good. I do like this mode. It's the same sounds. Now there's a little peg here for emissary to stand on. Supposedly there's some other ones like that too. And I don't remember where they are. But you can also put them back in here, like we had him in the other base mode, just kind of sitting in the chair. Oh, okay. So there's a peg here. There's also a peg here. Just kind of pegs all over the place to put emissary. That's kind of cool that they included that. But yeah, that's really about it, guys, for this mode. Now I did want to kind of give a scale comparison, so we'll bring in a Masterpiece toy here, and I'm gonna bring in Bumblebee. So obviously way too small. It's not going to serve as a Masterpiece fortress. You know, he's not big enough for anybody to drive in. Even this guy, you know, he's just too big. So it looks good. I think they pair up well as far as paint, but when it comes to scale, it's off. There's actually a fourth mode for this guy. It's kind of a fan mode with towers in the back. Oh, by the way, we didn't talk about this tower. It's got a nice Autobot logo here. Really good paint, good paint and good stickers. I think they did a good job with giving this guy good detailing. Maybe that's how he's supposed to be. I don't know. The hands in the front kind of bothers me. Anyway, pretty good. Just a little weird in some places, but definitely not scaling with Masterpiece. All right, so we'll get this guy into his last mode, and then we'll talk about some final thoughts and you know, anything else about this guy. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got Fortress Maximus in his fourth and final mode. I actually think I like this one the best. I don't know. I feel like fortresses should have towers, you know, and this kind of has those towers. It also is kind of even out. Like it's got a landing pad and a tower right behind it. So I think it looks pretty decent in this mode. By the way, the sword does not fit anywhere. It doesn't really go. You know, that's about the only place I could find where it could actually fit, and it looks kind of lame there. It's really not meant to go there. But yeah, that's really the only place I could find where this thing would actually sit. It doesn't really go anywhere. I guess you could actually put it in the hand, but it's really not meant for base mode. So we'll get that out of there. But yeah, that is about it for base mode. I think this thing has a lot of versatility, a lot of playability. It's a good toy. It's well done. So I like it. I'm gonna keep it. He's gonna be my competition for Devastator. Those two are going to be on a shelf together, facing each other. But yeah, so that's really it for base mode. We're going to get into Cerebros now, and we'll take a look at the bot mode. Obviously, we're going to get this kind of cleared away. So we'll be right back and take a look at Cerebros. Sorry guys, here is another fan mode. This is mode number 5. It kind of has the boosters facing forward, and the tower is kind of straight up. So this is actually the tallest mode, I think. Yeah, I think this is the one that's the biggest, the highest up. And it looks good. I like it. You do have to take this guy off because he's right in there. He does not fit if you leave him in there. But yeah, this one does look good. I think this is actually probably even better than. The only thing is the cannons aren't visible in this version, so you choose which mode you prefer the best. But overall, this guy really does have a lot of choices, a lot of playability, so pretty good. Alright guys, we're back with Cerebros. We have him in head mode here. It's a very nicely detailed head for Fortress Maximus. It's got well done color choices here, and the light up eyes just really look cool. So we'll get this guy transformed. The first thing I'm going to do is pull off the headmaster for the headmaster. And then you can fold down his legs. They do peg in on the side, so they're pretty nice and secure. His arms are kind of just dangling here. They don't really tab into anything. They're just sort of sitting there. And you kind of need that because in base mode, he has to stick into the top of the base. And in order to fit, you gotta kind of wiggle these things out of the way. So that may be by design. So actually, you fold up this backpack, and it makes that transforming noise, which is pretty cool. You fold these ears back, and then you kind of stick these on, and they tab in on the side very firmly. That's good design. And then you twist the arm forward. Fold down the feet. Fold down the feet. And all that's missing is the head. And you stick that in. This does have a direction, so the back is a little bit wider. And so if you look at the head of Emissary, the back of his head is a little bit wider, so you want to stick the back in first. And he does make a transform. Oh, actually, you gotta flip this around first. Then you can stick it in. And there you have not Emissary. Here you have Cerebros. Really awesome transformer. Just this guy alone is actually pretty cool. I didn't expect this thing to be so detailed and nice. You know, it's actually a really cool transformer. It's got a lot of articulation. Let's go over the articulation. So his head is on a ball joint because of the Cerebros. It's announcing himself here. It's kind of popping out, so okay, there we go. So his head is on a little ball joint. He gets a little bit up, a little bit down. He can't rotate all the way around because he's a little bit hindered by the sides here. The back gets stuck. But it's good enough. The arms do have a butterfly joint out. They do rotate all the way around. You have a nice ball joint for the elbow, so you get 90 degrees. No articulation on the hand. It just kind of bends there. And we do have Cerebros' sword here. We'll get that out. Here's his sword. I think it just kind of sticks in there. Let's take a look. I believe it's just going to slide in. Yep. So there you go. I think that's awesome. I don't know why, but I think it's great that it comes with this weapon. So a lot of people would ask, is it worth it? Is it worth it to get the SDCC version for the extra $30? I think so. I like the paint apps. I like the sword. I think it's It's cool. Not everyone's gonna agree with me, but I like it. So that's it for articulation on the arm. You do have a full 180 on the leg, and his leg. Oops, leg does. Now you do want to have these back, otherwise it hinders the legs. You do have. You can do the splits all the way out. You get a nice 90-degree bend. Now this is part of the transformation, so you get this extra weird joint here, but that doesn't really do anything for him. No toe or heel articulation, although this is part of the transformation. It doesn't really, there's no ankle rocker or ankle tilt. You don't really need it. You can get this guy into a good pose without it. At least I think so. I don't know. I really like this guy. Oh, he has a nice Autobot logo here. It's a foil kind of logo. I think that's actually the difference between this guy and the retail version. The stickers were more like a foil stickers versus just a flat matte or like a regular cheap sticker. So a little bit nicer stickers on this guy. Some of them aren't applied that great, and they were pre-applied. That's another difference with this guy. All the stickers were pre-applied. You didn't have to do it yourself. I think it's worth it for the $30 to have somebody else apply the stickers. You know, I shouldn't have to assemble a toy. Oh, that was the other thing, the arm. In the retail version, the arm was not assembled. You had to assemble the arm, and once you assemble the arm, you could not take it off, and you could not put it back in the package. This guy will fit right back in the package. So now that I just mentioned that, I realized this package must be different from the retail package because you're able to put the guy back without taking him apart. So I am happy about the packaging for this guy. So yeah, I think it is worth it. I think it's worth the extra money to get the SDCC version, to get the stickers pre-applied, to get the arm already installed, to get pretty cool sword. And yeah, this guy's pretty awesome. So let's take a look at his sounds real quick. He also lights up here. Cerebros. He says his name. The laser sound. Okay, so there's not too many sounds, and I'm sure he still has the same. Yep. Same gimmick. So all in all, I think this is an amazing toy design. A lot of it's just copied from the G1 toy, but still, they took something that was great and made it good. Some people say they like the G1 Fortress Maximus better. I never owned it, but this guy is not that much more articulated as far as actual Fortress Maximus. He's only slightly more articulated. Some people don't like the feel of the plastic, but I like it. I think it's good. So let's bring the base mode back in here for one final look. And obviously we're a little close here. We'll just back up. And here is Cerebros. Obviously too big for his own base. So sad. But yeah, I'm happy with this thing. I'm going to keep it. Definitely going to be part of my collection. But feel free to ask any questions about this, whatever you think you might want to know about the SDCC version. I'm expecting the next version, the Inferno, Takara's Masterpiece Inferno, coming out I think it's November. And then after that we've got Grapple, and then hopefully something new coming along. Another Masterpiece car would be great. Autobot car, but we'll see what they do. Alright guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.